everybody, thank you so much for joining us for another edition of HeatPressNation Live. My name is Jared, and this is my great friend Esteban.
Hey, thanks everyone so much for tuning in. We've got a great show for you guys. I want to let you know really quick, we've got something fun going on today. We've got another contest for our viewers, right?
Like we do every week, yes sir.
Awesome, fantastic. Entries from last week are closed, so if you were able to like that video, tag 3 friends, you were automatically entered into the drawing. I believe we're giving away a vinyl cutting pro toolkit today, right?
We're giving away our pro toolkit, which is basically, if you look on our site, you're not going to find that package. What we did is, we cut all the time here for testing, for product demos, and over the course of just all this testing, there's like some really key essential tools that we like to have on hand for everything. So basically, me and Stephen, we put together some of our favorite things that are essential for vinyl cutting, and we put them together into a prize pack. So we're going to be announcing the winner of that at the end of the broadcast. Make sure you stay tuned. If you want to be entered into next week's giveaway, you can like and tag 3 friends in the comments below in this post.
You can do that right now. You'll be automatically entered. We'll be announcing that prize just a little bit later on. I want to show you guys some awesome stuff we got for you today. But yeah, you can go ahead and enter that right now. Very simple. Just like this post, tag 3 friends, and it's that easy, guys.
Yeah, and while you're here on Facebook, while we're here, we do have a Facebook group called HeatPressNation Creators. Guys, this is the coolest group. So many supportive people in there, so many people sharing their really cool work that they've been,
absolutely.
Stuff that they've been making. So it's really awesome if you guys are new to the industry, or maybe you're like industry vets. I know we have a couple people who have been in there, who are in the group, who they've been in the industry for a really long time, and they offer tons of helpful information. So if that's you, please feel free to join our group. Once again, HeatPressNation Creators. It's right there on the bottom of the screen there. Just go into Facebook groups and search for HeatPressNation Creators. No,
and I really can't stress that enough. What Jared was saying about folks sharing their work, it's really inspiring to see some of the really intricate or cool detailed products you guys are putting out there for your loved ones, your customers, your sports teams. We got kind of a sports themed episode going on today for you guys, so make sure you stay tuned. But we also have a hashtag. While we're on the subject of social media, I want to make sure you guys use that on all platforms: your Facebook, your Pinterest, your Twitter. It's going to be hashtag HPN Creators. You can take a look at that right there. And also you can search the hashtag, see what others are using, sharing. It could definitely be some cool inspiration to be checked out there as well. Again, that's a hashtag HPN Creators across all your social media. If this is your first time tuning in to HeatPressNation Live, we have an awesome YouTube channel also.
Yes, we do. So youtube.com/HeatPressNation. Guys, we have so many helpful videos, especially, again, if you're getting started. A big thing for us here at HeatPressNation is education.
Absolutely.
Because, especially if you're new to the industry, again, getting into this, getting into heat pressing, whether you're doing, heat transfer vinyl or sublimation, there's a lot of information that you have to take in to make your best purchase decision, just to kind of even make the best business decision as to what you're going to offer to your customers. So we're really big on education. So on our YouTube channel, you're going to find tons of helpful videos that'll help you not only learn how to make stuff, but just really get a hold of the process, really understand the process here as to what it takes to get into, again, sublimation, heat transfer vinyl, heat transfer paper, as we're going to be talking about in a little bit today.
That's
right. So make sure you go check it out. Once again, information right there at the bottom of your screen, youtube.com/HeatPressNation. Definitely want to go like some videos and subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe, give us some thumbs up, much appreciated. You can see all of our past broadcasts on there also, right?
Yeah, so we archive all of our Facebook Lives onto YouTube.
That's right. So as you can see, like we said, we got some kind of sports themed memorabilia out here today. Today's episode is called Play Ball.
Yeah, so we're in March. Today is March 1st. I cannot believe
it's the first of the month.
It's the first of the month. Rent's due.
Yeah.
But I can't believe we're already in March, dude.
I know, the year's flying by again. But what that means is we got a lot of sports teams. The weather's going to be warming up, so it's going to be that special time of year, practice, getting ready for your gear and everything. And we want to show you guys how you can take the skills, equipment, materials that you already have and really make this upcoming sports season the best one ever.
Yeah, so like Stefan said, we're showing you guys how to make pretty much a little bit of everything. We have a really cool sampling of a lot of different things here today. We're going to be going into details about pretty much each and every one of them. We've got some live demos coming up, so make sure you stay tuned. Guys, if you're just tuning in, or maybe this is your first time watching, again, welcome to HeatPressNation Live. where we do helpful videos, tutorials. We take your questions most importantly. So
exactly. Speaking of questions, we do have the iPad up here. If you guys have any questions about any of the processes, products, or anything at all while we're live today, we'll try and get to as many of these as we can during our broadcast. But for anything we don't address, we'll be going through the comments personally afterwards, getting those answers, and making sure everyone's got all the information we need. And if you're maybe watching this video a week from now or 2 weeks from now, you can still hop in on those questions, comments section. We get the notifications, so we can definitely answer those for you in a timely fashion. Right, Jared?
Exactly. So we're really excited today. Again, it's called Play Ball, and we kind of geared everything for a baseball team, but really, basketball season's coming soon. We're already in basketball season.
A little bit right now. Shout out to the Lakers. Yes, but with the weather warming up, you're going to see a lot more, clubs and teams getting started. So you want to make sure that everyone's looking good. You have the gear you need. You're representing your team. And if you look good, you feel good, then you play good.
Exactly. So we're going to show you guys how you can customize some gear. Now, this episode is really geared for everybody. So whether you're crafting, so you're just making some stuff for your family, your friends. We have some gear that you guys can make some cool projects for you, or maybe you're a business and you're offering your services to your local sports teams. We definitely have stuff for you too. So make sure you stay tuned. Again, we have stuff for everybody. And today we're going to get started off with a really cool item. Esteban's going to be showing us how we can make a sublimation sock. Is that right? A sock?
Yes, that's right. Cool. So as you can see here, we have a couple that we've already done. Now, this is really cool. Oh, there we go. There's the camera there. So we have this image that is actually 100% sublimated on here. This is a 100% polyester sock. Now, this one here, we just kind of got the top portion there with the logo. If you're looking to do something like the entire sock, you may be using something like the Sawgrass SG800, 11 by 17 out of the box.
Right.
But for our prints here, if you have the 400, which does 8.5 by 14 out of the box, you could certainly do some awesome team gear with the socks, kind of pressing more onto this portion here.
Yeah, and I've heard that question before. It's like, oh, I'd love to do socks, but I don't have the SG800. Well, like Esteban just said, that's really going to be you could do a full bleed on the sock. You can literally cover the sock top to bottom. But if you only have the SG800 or a smaller sublimation machine, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
You can still get cool stuff, and I'm just going to put that right there for the camera to see. Really cool. We have a full color, and it says, I don't know if you could read it because it's so small, it says the heaters on the front and the back. And of course, so those of you guys who get that reference, it means you had a good childhood. You were raised on good movies.
Awesome, possum. So I believe we're going to go ahead and get one of these.
Let's do it.
All right, so we used our Sawgrass SG400 to print these transfers that we're going to be pressing today. This is also using our TexPrint R. This is going to be the sublimation paper for the gel-based ink system. All these will be available at HeatPressNation.com. Today we're also going to be using our sock insert. Now, Jared, tell them why this is so important to use this insert when we're pressing our socks.
So it's very important to use the insert because, as you'll see Esteban, and he's gonna be putting the sock on it right now. You have to kind of stretch the sock out a little bit because when you put your sock on your actual leg, it's gonna stretch out a little bit. So if you put your image on without an insert or without some sort, you can even use cardboard. We've seen people use lots of different stuff to use as an insert for their sock, but if you don't use an insert when you put the sock, it'll look good when you press it, don't get me wrong, but when you actually put the sock on and it stretches, you'll be like, what does that say? So, very important to use the sock insert. And Esteban's going to go ahead and he's going to show you exactly how easy it is to press a sublimation sock. So we already cut and trimmed that down, but that was printed on our SG400 Sawgrass.
That's right. And today we're going to be pressing with our Black Series 15 by 15 swing away heat press machine. Now, we love using the swing away for doing sublimation transfers because it gives you that larger pressing thickness, right?
Exactly.
What's the thickness that you can do with something like this machine?
I want to say you could press up to 1.5 inches. I have to double check on that. So be sure you stay tuned in the comments afterwards. I'll get the actual specifications, but I want to say you could press items up to 1.5 inches. It's possibly 2 inches, but we'll save that for the check the comments. I'll be updating after the video.
There we go. So for some sublimation transfers, you may want to use heat tape. This is going to be very forgiving. It's going to be a nice flat cooperative substrate that we're pressing onto. So I'm just going to try and eyeball this and press it. You guys ready for some sublimation?
Let's do it, man.
All right.
I'm stoked. So as Esteban comes around, another thing you're going to notice is that we do have our heat felt on here on the bottom of our heat press. Now this is really good. I'm going to swing this away, or actually swing it away from me for safety purposes. But you'll see here we don't have the silicone pad on bottom. which is another reason why I love this Black Series heat press. In fact, all HPN heat presses, the lower plate, we don't glue the silicone pad on for several reasons. One of them is because sometimes you're going to have to swap it out for a felt pad or an alternative pad on there when you're pressing thicker stuff. So it makes it super easy because instead of scraping off your pad, you can just pull it right out. It swaps in and out super easy. And again, that's another reason why I love the Black Series. So Stefan's going to come on up. He's already ready. And I'm going to help him out. I'm going to cut some parchment paper for him. So teamwork to make the dream work, guys.
Absolutely. Safety first, then teamwork. So we're using the parchment paper to give us our protection on not just our felt pad here, but also the heating element. When doing sublimation under high temperature, this printed transfer is actually going to turn into a gas. The pressure of the machine forces it into the surface of the substrate because we're going to be actually dyeing this product here. So we're going to go ahead and have this down underneath just in case any of that ink for any reason comes out on the sides. We're going to have our protection there. So we're going to go ahead and see, what is that one about? A couple fingers from the top. Let's try and eyeball this here. And we have our machine set to 385. How long are we going to be pressing this one here today, Jared?
So sublimation, in general, we see people press for 400 degrees, about 30 to 45 seconds. So what we do here is, because we're going to be pressing something else, we're pressing for 385 degrees for about 65 seconds. And so what that really does is you can play with your sublimation settings depending on what you're pressing, depending on how much ink coverage you have on your transfer. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that could play into, what settings are going to work for you. But we already pre-tested this, as you can see on this sock, and we found these settings to be just right.
All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and get the timer started, guys.
Okay, so you can see that we're using a firm pressure on there. Now we have Jennifer Weiss Holland asking, what press are you using? Guys, this is the Black Series 15-inch by 15-inch swing-away heat press. I think we've used this before in a previous episode, right?
Yes, I think a couple actually, if I'm not mistaken. This machine's super strong. It's designed for small business level production. So, I mean, if you have, maybe beyond that personal or home use work volume, or you want something that maybe can grow with your business, would highly recommend checking something like this machine out. Comes with a 1-year parts and labor warranty and lifetime tech support.
Exactly. Now, we have Matt Bell asking, what brand of sublimation paper? Since we printed this with the Sawgrass SG400, we're using TexPrint R sublimation paper, and the R is for gel-based ink. So basically, Ricoh and Sawgrass are pretty much, off the top of my head, going to be the only two using that sort of ink system. So whether you have a Sawgrass like a Virtuos like SG400 or 800, or one of the Ricoh like the 7110 or that series of printers, you're going to want to use the TexPrint R sublimation paper.
For a full list of all printers and inks available, you can actually go to the Sublimation section on HeatPressNation.com. I think if you hover over printers and inks, you get the full list there.
And we'll take more questions right now, but first we're going to go ahead and let Esteban open this up and reveal our really cool sublimation transfer.
All right, so remove our parchment paper here. As always, when you're taking anything off the machine, always exercise caution. It's usually going to be a pretty high temperature. So we'll use this to carry on over here. And then,
oh, that looks beautiful, man.
That's not too shabby.
Go ahead and hold that up to the camera. Look at that. So you can see, oh, there we go. Now you can read it, the heaters. So it's a really cool graphic. We've got a flaming ball. We got the heaters and that classic baseball text. And truth be told, I think it looks really good. So we're going to let that cool off a little bit. Be careful because the sock insert, that itself, it does get pretty hot. So yeah, that's awesome. I think we had a question about how long it lasts. You want to go ahead and take that one? I got to reset our.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, so Roger Arietta is asking, how does sublimation stand against fading out? Is it like regular heat transfers or last longer? That's a great question. Sublimation is actually going to be a 100% permanent process. We're literally dyeing the surface of the product, so the image is not going to be sitting on top like you may feel on certain transfers. Talking about your vinyls or maybe your inkjet heat transfer paper, which are also great ways to customize. But something like this is going to be 100% permanent, very vivid, photo quality product. Picture images on there. Definitely something to check out.
Yeah, another thing that we did off camera was this really cool cap, and you can see it right there. Again, we have our really cool heaters logo, and it's hard to tell on camera, but like there's actually like flames in the flame, so it looks really neat. Photo quality there. We have the heaters on this sublimation cap that we found. It's that moisture wicking kind of like almost golf hat.
Yeah.
But it's 100% polyester, so it took the sublimation print really, really well, guys. So we're super stoked on that. We have another live demo coming up for you guys in just a minute. But first, we want to remind everybody that we do have our weekly contest running. So if you liked and tagged 3 friends in the previous week's post, you're entered to win this week's contest. And if you like and tag 3 friends in this week's post,
yes,
you're entered to win in next week's giveaway. And we're going to be drawing the prize for this week.
And we'll be announcing the prize in just a little bit.
In just a little bit,
yeah.
yeah.
But you can enter right now. It's that easy. Like Jared said, just like and tag 3 friends. You'll be automatically entered. While we're changing gears here, I do have another question coming in. Jennifer Weiss Holland, thanks for tuning in again. I recognize that name. Jennifer's asking, is the Epson 1430 a good printer for starting out?
So the Epson 1430, the Artisan 1430 is a good sublimation heat press. In our experience, after you get like the sublimation inks and everything, it does come in at almost the same price as the Sawgrass SG800. And that being said, not saying that the Epson Artisan is a bad printer. A lot of people have had great success with it. But in my opinion, if you're just getting started off, the Sawgrass SG800 is probably going to be the better bet. It's a lot more user-friendly, especially for new users who may not be as experienced with the maintenance required for sublimation that will be required for the Epson Artisan 1430.
That's right. An Epson machine, if it is being converted from inkjet to sublimation printing, it does need to be run pretty regularly, at least a couple times a week to keep the ink flowing.
Every other day at least.
And that's because, as Jared said, those machines will not have that built-in maintenance. Something like the Sawgrass Virtuoso, the SG400, the SG800, those do have a built-in maintenance system. So as long as your machine's plugged in, it'll continue to clean itself. So if you need to maybe have a week where you're printing sublimation transfers, you can return to it and resume operations as normal, right?
Exactly, yes sir. So yeah, so definitely recommend the Sawgrass SG800. The price difference is actually not that great at all when you finally, because to get the Epson you buy the printer, then you buy the ink, and then the continuous ink system. And our recommendation is going to be the Sawgrass SG800.
And those actually, the Sawgrass 400 and 800 come with free sublimation paper as well.
Yeah, so when you purchase the kit from us, you get the printer, the paper, the ink, basically out of the box. It's ready to roll.
The whole shebang. That's right. I got another one coming in here, also from Jennifer Weiss Holland. Is it the same type with dark and light transfers? Different paper?
So sublimation is only recommended for white or light colored garments. As you can see here, this sock and this hat are both white backgrounds. Sublimation, you're not going to be able to sublimate onto dark colored garments just for the fact that since your printer doesn't print white, you're not able to sublimate white ink. Exactly. There is no sublimation white ink. Since you're not able to do that, the colors are not going to come through on darker garments. If you want it, like let's say you had like a really light colored yellow hat. If you look here, and I'm going to show this to the camera here, so you see the baseball. Oh, there it is. So you see the baseball. If this hat was yellow, you see how the baseball is white? That's really just the white of the hat coming through. So if this was a yellow hat, your baseball would be very yellow in here. Because again, since your printer doesn't print white ink, all the white on your design is going to be just left blank. So when you finally transfer it, it's only transferring the inks, and any white in your design will actually be the white of your garment coming through. So again, if this was a yellow hat, the baseball would be yellow, and any, the flames would have like a really yellow, well, they're already kind of yellow, but they have a really yellow tint. So that's why you can't do dark colors. Sublimation is recommended, again, for garments, 100% polyester or synthetic garments, and white is preferred, or other light colors.
That's right. You heard it from the expert himself there, guys. 100% polyester and white and light colors for the best results. Got another one coming in here from Tony Liznak. Now, it says, I see the heat press swings left and right. Wants to know about the size and the price. The size on this one's definitely going to be the 15 by 15. Price-wise, I'd probably refer them to the website.
Yeah, HeatPressNation.com. We'll post the direct link to this in a little bit. I'll reply directly back to you after the broadcast with the links so you can see pricing. You can go right now to HeatPressNation.com. I'm not sure off the top of my head what the pricing is.
I'd have to take a look, see what the current pricing. We get asked all the time if we have a catalog or something in print. Website will always give you the most up-to-date product availability and current pricing. Exactly. So we'll get that direct link in there in just a short while. But man, do you think they're ready for some more demonstrations?
I think so. I do like that it does swing both ways, because a lot of heat presses they'll stop one way and only go the other way. So it's really cool. Now, before we move on, we do have one more live demo that we want to show you. Really cool product. But before we do, we're going to pause, and every week, I feel like every week, we have some sort of heat transfer vinyl product that we're demoing. And not saying that we get bored of it. We love transferring vinyl, but we wanted to focus on some different aspects this week. If you guys want to know how to transfer, how to cut, how to use heat transfer vinyl, go to our youtube.com/HeatPressNation channel. Check it out. We have tons of videos on how to do heat transfer vinyl, but let's show this stuff off. I mean, we wanted to show you guys all this cool stuff. Like this duffel bag is super neat. We customized that with heat transfer vinyl, and I'm a big fan. Now, this is a nylon bag. In fact, everything we have up here is nylon, except for I think the koozie, which we'll talk about in a minute. We use Caesar Easy Weed Extra. So if you guys want to customize stuff for your team, or maybe just for your players, maybe you have your kids in Little League and you want them to be the coolest kids, showing up with their custom bags, with their number. Let's show that one off. I like that because it's a little drawstring bag. It's really cool. And then they're inexpensive, so like if your kid leaves it on the bus and he loses it, you won't feel that bad. It's not like he's losing like a $40 backpack. It's definitely just a couple bucks, so it's really cool.
Yeah, but the value, though, that you add to it, putting that on there, really gives it that high-end, that professional quality look. Actually, Leo in our shipping department just had some custom stuff done for his daughter's soccer team. Came out super awesome. Really helps your team stand out. And, speaking of the nylon, I was always, when I first started here, I didn't know how you would heat press onto something like a windbreaker, like a coach's jacket, or these nylon bags. And as Jared mentioned, the Easy Weed Extra, 100% compatible. We do recommend using something like a test press, perhaps.
Yeah, so not all synthetic garments are created equal. Just because you press one nylon, object, garment, whatever it is, doesn't mean they're all going to work. So you always want to do a test press. Of course, we tested these before pressing on them, just to make sure they're going to stand up to the heat, make sure they're not going to melt underneath the heat and the pressure of a heat press. So we're going to swap this out now. Let's go ahead and show them this cool nylon bag. This is the drawstring bag, super popular with the kids, as they say. With the I'm not sure on the hip kid lingo, but the heaters. So all your kids can have custom bag, or maybe you want a bag for them to put their stinky jerseys in after practice. That's it's definitely a good use for this. Now, one of my favorite things, if you want to sell something to other parents and make a couple bucks, check this out.
What we got
Let's go ahead and pull up the...
they're showing this one? All right.
Yeah, so this is our stadium chair. Now, those of you guys who have been to Little League games, you know that you're sitting on those bleachers, and they hurt your butt after. Let's just be real. Let's keep it real here on Heat Press Nation Live, guys. Those seats hurt. I've sat in them for a couple games, and every time I'm like, dude, next time I got to, bring a thick blanket to sit on, a pillow or something like that.
Of some sort. But, they have these awesome contraptions, the stadium seats, and, you don't have to have a boring stadium seat. You could be the cool parent. You could be the cool player or attendee that has that customized, personalized, team edition stadium seat.
Exactly. And, of course, this is like a nylon material. So, again, we did use, we did use our Caesar Easy Weed Extra on here, and we customized it not only with the team name, but with the team number. That way, you can represent your players, your little guys or girls if they're out there playing baseball or really whatever they're playing. If it's soccer, football, I feel like all the sports are coming out. Summer is just around the corner, guys. It'll be here sooner rather than later. So we have all these cool things. And then finally, Esteban, you probably saw him take a little sip from here. Don't worry, it's LaCroix. We would never do that on the job. So right there, you can see this really cool can koozie. Again, the heaters. You could rep your team at all times, guys, keeping your drink nice and cool. Is it still cool? Let's give it a test. Let's see if it works. Product testing right here, guys.
It's still cool.
Still cool?
It's still
nice.
Cool. That works.
You heard it here first, guys. Now, there's so many different things that you can customize with your heat transfer vinyl. The possibility to end is we wanted to give you guys some inspiration. And if you guys have stuff that you've made for your Little League teams or the parents in your area, share it. Go to our group here on Facebook, facebook.com. You're going to want to search for Heat Press Nation Creators. The information is right there on the bottom of your screen. And of course, you can use hashtag HPN Creators on all social media. Anywhere that accepts a hashtag, you're going to want to go ahead and use that. Let's see what you guys are making for your sports teams.
No, I've been seeing some awesome stuff. Like we mentioned, our guy Leo in the shipping department, his daughter's uniforms, but a lot of the users, it seems like it's that time of year, getting some custom creations for the team. Really, like I said, help you guys stand out. When you approach the field of battle and you dress to the nines, it all helps. So
yeah, Definitely, and it definitely builds like that team spirit. You
Absolutely.
know? It's really, really cool.
No, that's right, that's right. So I know we had another demo lined up.
more.
I actually had a question that came in. I think that might kind of pertain to what we're about to do for our next transfer.
Yeah.
Now, we did address that sublimation, ideally 100% polyester, 100% white. It's going to give you the best results. Light colors may work as well. Now, someone's asking, what about transfers? What would we recommend for dark garments?
For dark garments, so if you have a dark garment, you're going to want to switch over to probably an inkjet or a laser printer and get some dark transfer paper. So if you had something like a dark garment and you wanted to put an image on there, pretty much, I mean, unless you're going to go, if you have a heat press and you want to use your heat press, it's going to have to be a heat transfer paper where you could just print it out. And we're actually going to show you how to use light heat transfer paper in a minute. The process is pretty similar, and we'll get into the details. Of course, any questions at all, drop them out. If you have like any specific questions beyond that, drop them in the comments. We're getting to get to as many as we can. That's actually a pretty good segue into what we're doing. So right here, if you see at the center of our table, I'm going to scoot this over here. We have our baseball tee, right? Standard baseball tee, guys. These look so cool, and it has our Heaters logo on it. So you can see this right here, the Heaters. Right. If your son's on the Heaters team or your daughter's on the Heaters team and you're showing up in this, you're going to be the coolest parent out there, guys.
That's right.
And so what we're going to use here...
Actually, I can cut that out for you there, Jared.
Oh, my hero. So now we have light heat transfer, but this is Jet Pro Soft Stretch. We use it a lot here on HeatPressNation Live. Big fans. And you'll see that Esteban's hand cutting it out. So now you're not purposefully going slow, right?
You know, I'm just trying not to cut it too bad here.
So you can kind of get a good idea, seeing Esteban cut this, you can get a good idea of what it would take to hand cut out this transfer. If you only have one, I guess it's not so bad, but if you're making like a dozen of these and you want a faster way to cut it out, you're going to want to use contour cutting on your vinyl cutter. So if you have a Silhouette Cameo, if you have a GCC Expert LX series, or if you have Vinyl Systems Edge, your cutter is equipped with contour cutting. So what contour cutting does is you print out your transfer on the heat transfer paper, you load it into the cutter reads specialized marks on it, and it actually does this. It cuts it out of the background, so that way you're not transferring the big, border onto your garment. It cuts it out of the background, does the dirty work for you. It does it faster, more precise. No offense. I'm sure
okay.
It looks like you're doing a great job.
I'm doing my best here, but for something like light colored fabric heat transfer paper, you can certainly hand cut something like this because we're mainly just going to be transferring the image.
Right.
But if you're going to be doing a dark fabric transfer paper where the white background will be part of the portion we're transferring, something like contour cutting, as Jared mentioned, that's really going to give you more of a uniform, professional looking final product. I'm not stalling on my cut time. Keep going.
No, but he's absolutely right. If you're doing dark transfer paper, we would highly recommend either if you're not going to print the entire image, use your full sheet of paper, then you're definitely going to want to go for contour cutting. For more information on contour cutting, feel free to give us a call, 800-215-0894. If you have specific questions, put them into the comments. We'll answer as many as we can here live on HeatPressNation. Or we're going to go ahead and get to the comments, of course, like we do every week. We hop in the comments right after the broadcast. So that looks great. So you can see, and we're going to show it to the camera here, you can see that we left a little border around. That's fine because we're pressing onto light garment. The white border, it is slightly visible, but if there's not if we would have printed the whole sheet, you probably would have noticed the border around it. But since we trimmed it so close, you're really not going to notice on the shirt unless you get really, you'll have to put your face to the shirt. We could probably hold this one up as an example in a little bit. But
absolutely.
So let's go ahead and check some questions. I'm actually going to prep this machine here. We put the felt on so we could press the sock, but now we're going to be pressing the shirt. So give me a moment. I'm going to go ahead and prep the machine.
There we go. All right, guys, let's keep the questions coming in. I want to thank everyone so much for tuning in today, getting active and involved, keeping us company up here. Let's see here. Got another question coming in from Jennifer. She's asking, so heat transfer vinyl and heat transfer paper are different. Yes, those are two of the main areas we focus on here at HeatPressNation. Vinyl, you'll see, is going to be your single color transfer material, sold typically either in a sheet or in a roll format. What we're wearing here today was pressed using Caesar Easy Weed. So this is a vinyl that we cut, weed, and then apply. If you were looking to do something like a photo image or full color graphics, I would highly recommend using something like the heat transfer paper. As Jared mentioned, this can be printed using a common household or office laser or inkjet printer, and then this will print out your full color image, and then you would follow the product's individual instructions as far as time and temperature and application onto the garment. So I think they definitely serve different unique purposes. We've actually got a video on our YouTube channel combining them together. So we had printed out some heat transfer paper, pressed that on, and then added another layer dimension to it with vinyl. So I mean, there's really only going to be limited by your imagination, but both are really awesome products to look into. Today, I believe we are pressing Nina brand Jet Pro Soft Stretch.
Yes.
This is one of our preferred heat transfer papers for light colored garments. And yeah, we're going to get this set up and going in just a moment here. We've got a question coming in from Brittany Rojas. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, she's asking, how do we enter the drawing? Does anyone in the class want to take this one, guys? How do we enter the drawing today?
Guys, we like and tag. No, just kidding. Sorry.
We're going to go ahead and just like this post and then tag 3 of your very best friends, maybe some folks who you think this information will be useful for, or someone you want to share this with. You'll be automatically entered. Entries are still open, so you can go ahead and do that right now. Like this video, tag those 3 friends. You'll be automatically entered into the drawing. And we'll be announcing that, I'd say probably right after this demo. We'll let you know what the next week's giveaway is going to be. Let's see here. Oh, Brittany just did a print and cut. Awesome, awesome.
Nice.
We do have an awesome selection of print and cut Caesar brand heat transfer vinyl on the website. I think we got the soft opaque, sublimation, lots of cool stuff to check out on there. Awesome, awesome. Let's see here. Shout out to Michael Reed coming by today to get some mugs. We'll be open until 5 o'clock. Warehouse is open until about 4:30. Let's see here. Let's see. Got another question coming in from Jennifer, actually, but it looks like Jared's getting ready to go. We'll get to the rest of these in just a moment. Jared, take it away.
Okay, so if you guys are like kind of off to the side of the screen, you probably saw I did a pre-press, and of course I had to adjust the pressure since we're using a T-pad. Now, for those of you guys who didn't see, once we're done, I'll pull the T-pad out and I'll show you guys exactly what it is. But if you want to take a look here on camera, you can see that I inserted a small rubber pad underneath right here, and what it does is it raises the surface. The reason why is because you have the threads right here on the shoulder. It kind of cuts into the area that I wanted to press. Also, I have my collar here on the area. And again, you don't want to ever press near a collar, near a seam. What it does is it raises the surface, and it doesn't allow you to get even contact with your pressing area, which is very important for heat transfer paper. Heat transfer paper does require nice, even, consistent pressure and temperature. And really the only way for us to get that is by using the T-pad. We insert it under, it raises this small area for us to press on, and that's going to give us these great results.
Right on.
So now I have my transfer that is still on cut. I'm putting it right here, and give me a second here. And again, we catch so much flack for this because we eyeball a lot here on camera. The truth is that it's live, and we're mostly showing you guys the process. So I'm just going to...
Doesn't look too bad.
It doesn't look too bad, yeah. Center this as best I can. Gonna cover it with my parchment paper here. And now I'm gonna go ahead and center this. We're gonna press this, and it's going down at 375 degrees for 30 seconds.
All right, so while that's going on there, we got some more questions coming in. Jennifer's asking, what would be a better upgrade from her 1515 clamshell she currently has? The 15x15 swing or the signature auto open with drawer?
Ooh.
They're different.
Right? Yeah, I mean, I feel like each press has its own, pros, not necessarily cons, but everyone has different features. You know what? It looks like our timer's counting down. We're going to get to that question as soon as this shirt comes off.
All right.
There we go. Going to give it an extra 2 seconds just to be certain. There we go. All right, so we're going to move this out of the way, which I love about this swing away. Now, when you're pressing a light heat transfer paper, what I'll do is to get like the best hand, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to give it a little stretch while it's still hot. You want to do this while it's very hot.
That's a pro tip, guys.
Then you can go ahead and just peel it. Another thing that helps you do is it helps to lift
the transfer off the garment.
The transfer, yep.
Right
so
on.
Be very careful. Peel in a nice smooth motion right there.
And what was our time and temperature for those just tuning in?
We did,
on this?
if you're just tuning in, we did 375 degrees for about 30 seconds. I actually left it in for like 35 seconds. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and that feels nice. Now I'm pulling out, this is the T-pad that I'm pulling out the T-pad here. This is what we inserted. You say it looks kind of like a mouse pad. Do you know what? It is kind of like a mouse pad. Truth be told, it's a little bit thicker. And it's designed, it's actually really hot right now. And it's designed to be heat resistant, so it's not going to melt. You can press it over and over and over again, and it's not going to give you any problems. And so here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and, actually, Steph, why don't you go ahead and make that look pretty? I'm coming around here. Yeah. And there you have it, guys.
Look at that.
We have a full color graphic on our 100% cotton shirt. Now, you'll notice that earlier we mentioned that for sublimation, you do have to use 100% polyester. And you might be asking, well, I have cotton tees. I have cotton poly tees. What do I do? You're going to want to use heat transfer paper, which can be printed, like you said, in an office, a regular office printer. You will get better results if you switch over to using pigment-based inks.
Yes.
Although the dye-based inks, it's not bad, but if you want longer lasting results, you will get better results with the pigment ink. So that's something you might want to look out for. But this looks fantastic.
No, yeah, that came out great.
Really cool stuff. Again, you can't see the border around it from where we trimmed it, but if you put your face to the shirt, you probably could. But
maybe you got a magnifying glass.
Yeah, hopefully no one's putting their face. Hopefully no one's putting their face to your shirt like this.
Yeah.
No one's gonna be getting this close to your shirt.
It came out awesome. And what we really like about this product, it's called Soft Stretch. You saw Jared did the little action there to kind of activate that ink in there. But the more you wash it, it gets softer and softer.
Right. So the cool thing about Soft Stretch is just like he said, when you wash it, it kind of wears in. After a bunch of washes, just like anything else, it will fade a little bit. The cool thing about Soft Stretch, though, is that instead of cracking like screen print, when it fades, it feels like it just kind of like fades into
it dulls a little bit.
Yeah, it fades into the garment, and eventually it feels like nothing is there. I have Soft Stretch on a bunch. I've used it on a bunch of shirts that I made for myself, and I love the way it washes in. It's just super soft, which is great if you're going to be using this shirt a lot throughout the baseball season. If you're wearing it, washing and wearing it every week, it will hold up and it will look really cool. Even when it does eventually start to fade, it'll at least have that cool vintage look instead of a cracked and ugly screen print. The way that screen print tends to do.
I think there was a post recently on our social media. You showed a fresh press, and then 1 year later on a full color Jet Pro Soft Stretch. It held up pretty dang well.
It really did, and I was really surprised. I saw it when because the picture, when I saw it back, I was like, hey, wait, I remember making that shirt like a year ago. And so I went back and I found the photo I had taken of the shirt after it had just been freshly pressed. I put them side by side, and really it looks great. So you can go to our Instagram and check it out, Instagram.com/HeatPressNation, or just look for @HeatPressNation on Instagram.
That's right.
Yeah, good job on the hand cut. Now, one thing that we didn't do on this shirt that we did do, and I'm messing your shirts up, sorry, on this shirt is you can even do something fun like this. Check this out. We did this in testing just to see if it was possible. And you can see we have Mom Squad totally flamed out, looking rad as heck on there. And we did this with Jet Pro Soft Stretch. Now you're saying, well, did you contour cut that? We hand cut this. And so this part, and this is where you can get really creative. You can see the border a little bit more noticeably right here in between. So slightly. It's really nothing. Like people often ask, like, hey, like if I hand cut it, is that okay? It is okay. But if you want to contour cut, that's up to you. Do you have to make 25 of these shirts? Are you really going to hand cut 25 of these transfers?
Yes.
Or are you doing 1 or 2? So you can do cool stuff like this, get really cool images. Of course, full color transfers like our what we just did today, the heaters, these really cool baseball tees. The options are endless. It's really up to you as to what kind of cool stuff you're making. I think our sock cool down. Why don't you show off the sock?
Look at that. This came out really cool, and then as you can see, the insert really allowed the fibers to kind of accommodate how it's going to be when you're wearing it, so you can see it's not going to be disproportionate or anything by any way. Yeah. So yeah, this came out awesome, man.
That sock came out pretty rad, man.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I just had a question I wanted to get to in here from Matt Bell. Now, they had a trick about centering the logo than the eyeball or with the roller. I believe there was something you showed me once where you kind of did the pre-press with the shirt folded in half, right, to kind of give the line.
Yeah, if you want to find the center of your shirt, that's a great one. Fold the shirt in half, pre-press it, just to get that little crease in there. It shouldn't hurt it when you actually press your final garment. And then, of course, because if you crease the center of the shirt, even if you laid it flat, repressed it again, you'll still see a little line in there, and that'll at least help you find the center of your garment. If centering garments is you're having trouble with that.
That's right. And then you know what? Right after that, Lee Volick tuned in. Thanks for joining us. They said they use the T-square. That's what we would always recommend.
T-square, highly recommend.
That's going to give you the best bet, as far as consistency, proportion from the sides, really proper placement for everything. So, I mean, the eyeball can do so much, but the T-square is when you really want to dial it in.
We live life on the edge here on HeatPressNation Live, so we eyeball it. But if you have a job that you're doing for somebody else, you don't want to be eyeballing stuff, use the T-square, guys. Take time to make sure your stuff's properly aligned.
That's right.
Yeah, now there's a couple other things that you guys can do. I know in the past weeks you've heard us mention Easy PSV, which is a brand new adhesive vinyl that we've been using and testing here at HeatPressNation. We just started carrying it, guys. If you're used to using Oracal maybe or other brands of adhesive vinyl, you might want to consider making the switch to Caesar. We do carry it here. That way we could be your one-stop shop. And it works great for
Go team.
It works great if you're making stuff like for your team, like maybe you want to customize stuff, just add that extra level of flair and team spirit to unconventional items that you can't really do with your heat press. You can see we have 2 layers of adhesive vinyl on here.
That's
so
right.
It is layerable, it is stackable. It comes in permanent and semi-permanent, which is really cool. So maybe you want to put a decal on your car, but you don't want it there after the season. Or if you do want it there, you can use permanent.
This is another awesome demo Jared did earlier. This is using the Easy PSV. If you want to put that name on the bottle there, so you kind of, everyone knows this here. This is a property of Bobby Boucher, everyone's favorite water boy. This one here, you can see you can have something just like this with your children's team name, their name, number. I mean, like Jared said, you're only going to be limited by your imagination when you come to something like this, because you can really put this on anything. You don't have to worry about the melting point or temperature issues, things like that. So really cool. Really glad to be carrying Caesar PSV.
Yeah, it's weatherproof. It's UV proof. It'll last the Easy PSV permanent. It's set to last out in an outdoor situation for about 3 to 5 years.
Oh wow!
So I mean, of course, depending on your climate, and if you're in like Phoenix and it's 120 degrees all year round, it's probably not going to last as long as it would in a more casual climate like Southern California.
Or if you're in Michigan with those extreme, sleet and snow and all that, everything will kind of vary into there. So about 3 to 5 years, depending on your climate there. But oh man, that came out awesome, man.
Yeah.
We love Jet Pro Soft Stretch around here. I bet our viewers would love some Jet Pro Soft Stretch.
You think they'd like? I don't think they'd like. You think they'd like it?
I think if you guys want to start doing photo quality images or full color graphics on your transfers, this is really what we would recommend. For light colored fabrics, the Nina brand Jet Pro Soft Stretch. How would you guys feel if we were giving one of those away for all of our entries today?
We're giving one away. All right, that sounds good to me, guys. So you heard it from the man. We're giving away a 50-pack of Nina Jet Pro Soft Stretch. All you got to do is tag 3 friends in the comments of this post. We're going to be giving it away next week, but to enter, you got to tag 3 friends and like this post.
That's right. We'll be announcing the winners of that 50-pack of Nina Jet Pro Soft Stretch next week, so make sure you get those entries in if you haven't already. And as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, we had a prize for today to give out to some lucky someone.
Yes, we do. So we have our Vinyl Cutters Pro Toolkit, which is a special selection of tools and accessories handpicked by the pros, by your boys here, Stevan and Jared. And we're excited to give that away. So I think you have the winners.
Yes. So for those of you last week who were able to like the video, tag 3 of your friends, we were able to compile all the names here in this hat here. No, it's okay.
So we got the you got our, sorry, we're from Southern California, guys. We're Dodgers.
It's Dodger country around here.
No offense. If you're from Houston, we hate you.
Oh wow.
We love everybody except maybe Houston.
All right, so we're gonna get these all jostled up here. Jared, would you do the honors?
I'd be glad to. All right, let's see how lucky. Oh, there we go. We got it on camera. Let's see so everybody can see. This is not a winner.
Oh wow.
You're not winners. You're not winners. Winner. Let's see. No offense to anybody whose name I just threw out. So we got Sarah Mitchell McDuffie. Sarah Mitchell McDuffie, you are our winner of the Vinyl Cutters Pro Pack, Pro Toolkit. So be sure you get in contact with us. Send us a DM here on Facebook, or you can email support@HeatPressNation.com. But we'll be getting in touch with you ASAP. Thank you so much for entering and tagging your 3 friends. You guys, it's that simple. All you got to do is like this post, tag 3 friends. And you know what's funny is we posted on Instagram, and people were even tagging their friends on Instagram. So
awesome.
Normally we don't count Instagram entries, but this week so many people were doing it. We're like, hey, what the heck? So if you want an extra entry, go over to Instagram, tag 3 friends in that post, and we'll see you guys all next week to see who wins our 50-pack of Nina Jet Pro Soft Stretch.
That's it. Play ball, guys. We'll see you next time.